Hey Mark.
Hey man.
How are you doing?
What's up? Yeah,
good.
Man. What's up?
Good, and you?
Yeah, great. A bit tired, but it's alright.
Yeah.
So, yeah, welcome to Crea-ture Studios.
Thanks, man.
Session.
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 My way to get to work this morning in the morning. No traffic. This is where I spend like 18 hours a day lately to shoot the early access. This is all the ref, the game. Like we put like tons of magazines, like we're reading tons of old mags. Like looking at the spots, like oh, we're like those. Oh, making notes. No, stuff like this. No, Gen Chem collection here. One of my favorite here. There's a Big Brother book. I can love that mag back in the days. It's really cool. Like the guys from Control Skateboarding in Quebec actually like reach out to us and say, hey guys, oh, this is really cool. We'd love to like to send you boards. We're super stoked about the game. So yeah, so they sent us like a really big bunch of boards. This way, man, this is really cool. Like we're starting like to get tons of stuff from brands. Never seen this before. All the boards here. So we gave them first set of wheels made for the game. This is cool. Oh, 2015. That was like the tape deck. I was putting in the things like this is one of my band I love. Like, a good friend of mine like gave me this because he knew I was like a big fan of Bad Brains. Super that's cool stuff. Like it's like it's all in. It's pretty cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. We used to everything we were doing at the beginning in project session that were like reference was taken from this. So, but at some point it was like a real pain to transfer the videos. Like computers nowadays are like modern, so it's anyway. It was a challenge to. So at some point he says, "Oh, you know what, man? Fuck it. I'm tired of the traffic and all that. So I'm gonna work remote." And it's pretty much where everything started. Remotely, we started to work with other people. It's strange, but so efficient at the same time. Like we're talking with each other, but I think it's one of the guy, Luke. I think it's been like 6 months. I haven't seen the guy, but we're talking to each other like every day on a regular basis, pretty much with everyone. David, who's our main artist in the game, is literally like 5 minutes from here, and I think it's been 6 months. I haven't seen him either. So it's weird. It's almost like I just go to the restaurant like 5 minutes of car from here, and it feels like a road trip. And on this side, it's more like the game kind of thing. Like I was saying, like I'm really passionate about skateboarding, but I also like really love this old school games. I don't know. I think session kind of feels like you can feel it a bit just by the fact it's really hard. I miss like those days where games like this, Ghosts and Goblins, were the shit. And it's hard as so. This is a game. Like here you have the Unreal Engine, you know, the infamous Brooklyn Banks. It was a blast to work on this. You know, we've been there a couple times, and we made sure like we've shot as many photos as we could. We sneaked in to make sure that we had like good rest for the textures and everything. And first time I've been there, I managed like to sneak in. I don't know. There was something that was really kind of working really well together with the fact that no, it's a street game and this was like the kind of vibe we wanted to go and the fact that I needed to go like in another country, sneak in somewhere I was totally not supposed to be, and taking as many photos. It was pretty cool. I was taking some photos, and then obviously I needed to try like to skip the banks a bit. There was a guy there, super chill. He was super relaxed. He seems to be used to get this, but when you kind of never show up, you don't really know how it does kind of happen. We've been pretty crazy in recreating like the actual banks as it was back in the day. So you know you have like the 9 stairs here, like super long, same distance. We've been pretty kind of a OCD kind of thing. So we have the same amount of arcs, like the same like big arcs. This is pretty much like almost as close as we could. Like you have like the basketball court here. You have the big set here, and this section was actually like the most challenging one because the only thing we had to recreate like the upper banks was old ass videos on YouTube and some really specific angle, and for some reason it was so hard to get more than this angle. Now everything here, it's still unclear. I think it's probably like the less accurate section of the banks. This wasn't there. We added this. This was actually more around here. That's gonna come later. So yeah, so we struggled a lot to work that thing out. We made like some locals try the game, and apparently it's pretty accurate. So I'm super happy about that. I even like had fun. There was like this really old photo of Steve Rodriguez jumping the wall, and in the photo there's a really old Civic, but it was much cleaner. So I kind of went crazy and so like to kind of destroy like the car and imagine that maybe like the card stayed there for 10 years and this is how it looks like now, but at least you can still like jump over. Anyways, that was a really cool picture, and kind of shows well, you know, how crazy we went into making the banks as accurate as we could. Art-wise, it was really interesting to kind of give this feel of abandoned banks, but without hurting the experience. So we made sure that we kind of made a healthy mix of the old banks and the new banks. So we opened this up. Usually there was like planters all over the place here. So we kind of made like half of the new version of the banks where nobody really skated. But we made sure like the small banks was as accurate as we could. We even have like 2 versions. Like, you know, the era where the city put it like a fence to keep skaters from popping the wall. Half with the first iteration of it, where this is really pretty much everything started. So yeah, so we have all this. It's much cleaner. No, it needs to be dirty out. And here is more of a modern version of what the Banks looks like now. Now this is pretty much in everything that can be skated nowadays. But back in the days, this spot wasn't that popular. So it was kind of making sense that we would recreate the Banks on a more modern way compared to the other section. So we kind of made it like the Tai Chi grass weird thing, pretty much everything. Like we're currently started to break the bricks like it is. Police Plaza. I think it's the kind of sport I would have liked to skate when I was younger. It's a little bit more mellow, but it seems to be like much more like kind of a technical, like manual techie skating. Since it's a police station, I guess that you're getting kicked pretty fast. But the good thing is you're not going to be kicked in session. So well, just yet. We've been working like tons of months on this section, and recently we went to New York for this kind of old school press tour thing. And we walked by the spot, and it was really strange because so many things are like feel similar. That when you're there, so when you're there, it kind of brings you to the game. So this connection between the game and real life is really shocking. We were in the underpass here, and I was like, oh shit, man, this is. Oh, it's different, but it feels the same. So yeah, so let's get in the game. So yeah, so this is here it is. This is a session like here. We wanted to have like our guy kind of chilling. In the spot he's about to skate, and we like make sure that the guy would be like literally into the experience right away. So yeah, so here just like going to do like a small surrounding. So we kind of we had a bit of fun with the narrative. So the kind of the background of the guy is this new guy in New York. And he managed like to get an apartment here in the Chatham Tower with his friends, and that's it. So this is where he lives. This is where like everything's gonna kind of be stored, like your boards, your clothing. This is where you'll be able like to watch like skate videos. So I think here the late 90s vibe is much stronger in the apartment. Like you have this really old ass like computer up here, so you can like start working on your montage. And after this, like you have like the small spot where you can like set up your board. A couple of brands we've been working on. No Comply, Rolling Skateboards. Something we wanted, and this is really cool because when we started to work with Heroin Skateboard, which is a brand I love, they always have these funky, cool shapes, and nobody kind of ever kind of covered this in games before. So we're really happy to make those custom shapes. And this is where you'll be able like to do, for example, like read Gen Chem guys because they jumped in with us, which is super cool. You'll be able like to watch like the Gen Chem website on the laptop. You'll be able like to watch some videos, like some community videos here. Like play took some montage from the like your best tricks and things like this. And here it's where you customize your board. We have like deck layers, like grip tapes. We're trying to be super wide. At the moment, it's mostly aesthetic, but we're definitely going to be like covering as many options as we can. So we have like super like small wheels, like 90s style, at 48 millimeters. We're respecting like the same values. So the board size is the same as in real life. So the size of your board, the size of the trucks is going to like an impact on the flip speed. Like the hardness of the wheels are also going to have an impact on your size and like things like this. We really want to go as deep as we could in the experience. Lately, like female characters, like female skaters, finally get some recognitions. So we thought it would be really cool to have the chance to like to skate with like female character as well. So from there you can like customize tons of really cool stuff like t-shirts and things like this, like Jenkin t-shirt and whatnot. This is this session. It's one of the New York like surroundings from the banks. This is like the Verizon building. Obviously we cannot call it like this in the game, but still like you should be able like to recognize the spot. So we in some areas where it is not that important to be focused, we're making sure that it does stay fun to skate, but still feels right. Something we've been really careful is to we're 1-to-1 in terms of scale, but this is just half of the solution. So unless like your physics cannot like hold on to this fact, there's no point on going like 1-to-1. So we measure like the skater was like doing like some proper like normal kind of pop height. Like everything was kind of staying super grounded. So for example, like here in the replay mode, you can see this is very much like the highest you start with for an ollie flip. So here is kind of an interesting take. We keep claiming like we've been like inspired by the 90s, and then we care about like authenticity and all that stuff. So we've created like this thing where we called it like historical challenges. So you have like this crazy list of stuff here, and it's you to find out like what happened in the banks back in the days. So this is exactly like the time like to nerd that shit out, watch tons of 411 videos, go to like Zoo York videos and whatnot, and try to find all the tricks that happen in the banks. So for example here, I remember that really in this early career, Eric Costin like did like a heel flip over the wall. So if I'm pushing and then boom, you see like custom heel flip over the wall. And if you want to know more, this is exactly where you go. You go into historical, and then you go see like custom heel flip over the wall. So this is where we kind of really share the passion and love we have for skateboarding. And then we tried to document all these. This was a really kind of important moment in skateboarding, like especially street skate in the East Coast. So we felt it was making sense to kind of document all these kind of cool things. So the new generation know what happened there, why we decided to pick the Brooklyn Banks rather than just another skate park in the West Coast or something. This is really like, it's a love letter to skateboarding pretty much. That's just like the Upper Banks, as it used to be called. So we're gonna go in the Madison Park in front of the Verizon building. It's one of the really cool spots that I like to skate. It's really like techy manual stuff. There's like lots of round ledges and small like mani pads pretty much everywhere. But one thing that is kind of fun here is if you go, for example, like I'm speeding up the day-night cycle, and let's say that I want to have like a night session here. This is something that was really important to me because I definitely had like my best session was at night. So we've created like this full day-night cycle. So if you keep skating, dawn is gonna arrive, and after this you'll be able like to skate at night. But if you're not like, if you don't want to wait like an hour or something, you can definitely like jump in the options and then go straight to the night session. And one thing that I really love is the fact like you can add some floodlights to your spot and make it like more skatable. So when it's time to make like some cool videos, it's going to be much more interesting. So let's say that I'm starting with those two. There you go. One thing though I didn't really like about my line, and this is where like it's cool. No, it's realistic, but at the same time I think we can still like give ourselves some tools. So that like this particular spot was really dark. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just like add a floodlight here, so I can like see my trick properly. I think I have one left. There you go. And then we can go back to the replay and check how it looks. Okay, yeah, it seems doesn't seem too bad. So session is going to be available for PC on Steam on September 17th, and the Xbox version is going to come like around October this year. So stay tuned, because there's a lot of really cool content that's coming up. We're still working super hard to bring some really cool updates, expand the thing, and just like make session greater than ever. Cheers.